Everyone. Good evening and welcome to CEO Conversations with me, Dana Heisberg, also known as the Vision Builder. I'm super happy to be here with you guys for another one of these live discussions. I believe that we've been having such a great time with these discussions over the past few weeks. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I feel is absolutely necessary to talk about within our context. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're joining me, if this is the first time you are stumbling upon my videos, welcome to the Vision Builder community. Let me share with you how CEO Conversations started. It actually started as a live broadcast that I did every Monday night on Instagram, where I would share and teach on the areas of business, entrepreneurship, with a goal of helping small business owners to build strong, profitable businesses. And many of you are now here with me on YouTube because I believe it's time for us to switch up the conversation a bit so that we can actually now start changing our mindset, start building what I call CEO conversations. Because what I found is that many of us talk about being a CEO, but we really don't know how to migrate our small business, how to move from that entrepreneur hustler phase to a place where your business is actually working for you. So these conversations are really intended to help you to think more strategically about your business, to think again about what your business is intended to bring to you so that you can redefine the way that you are approaching your strategy, your marketing, your product creation, and entirely your business model. Now, as for me, as I said, I'm the Vision Builder and I serve Caribbean entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in the Caribbean diaspora. And my goal is to help you to scale up your business so that you can now start paying yourself well, have systems that work for you in your business, and that ultimately you have a great platform for growth. So if you're new, welcome. Hi, Miss Debell. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So tonight, what are we talking about tonight? Tonight, I really want to deal with something that I see as very prevalent when I have consultation calls with folks in Trinidad and Tobago, across the region. Even when I chat with persons from the US and even from the UK, what I've discovered is that we place such heavy emphasis on having a website. And let me say this at the very start. I am not against you having a website. Guys, I'm not against you having a website. I have a website. But I think that we equate having a website to having a good system in our business, right? So we feel as though the website is really what gives us validity, what makes us seem like a legitimate business, what makes us seem like, a really big business, right? If you're looking on with me, let me know if this makes sense. So a lot of the times when I'm talking, I'm doing my consultation calls with folks, they'll talk about all the things that they would see their business having in like the next 6 months or so. And ultimately, for most persons, they put, and I want to have a website. Now, I'm not against having a website, but I have some things that I want to share with you about what systems actually are for small businesses, because I really believe that the way for your small business to have big business bucks is really by having what I call concreteness, a clear system for you to consistently create the same experience time and time again. Now, if you studied business, I don't know how many of you all studied business. If you studied business, you would hear people talk about economies of scale. You'll hear people talk about automations. You will hear people talk about mass production. And again, we start to think systems in this region in particular, especially if you manufacture a product. That is automatically where your mind goes, right? Am I right? Let me know in the comments, right? That is automatically where your mind goes. But I want to challenge you tonight to start seeing things differently in your business, to start seeing systems differently in your business. And guys, real talk, I'm probably going to step on a few toes, but know that it is out of love, okay? Know that it is out of love, because I need us to get, sometimes we need to get our heads out of the clouds, come back to earth, see what we're working with, and see how we can build from where we're at, okay? So if you're ready to go with me, let's get into it. Tonight, we're not doing slides. Tonight, we're going to have conversations. And what I want to encourage you to do is, as I discuss, as I share information, please feel free to put your comments, put your questions in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them. Let's see if we can get some questions in. So let me ask this question of you. The man or woman who invented the wheel, do you think, if they invented the wheel, what would you think if they had to remake, like redesign the wheel every single time they have made it? So, the wheel was invented, and every single time they had to make a new wheel, they're starting over the process from scratch, as though something didn't exist before. Does that make sense to you? Like, if you invented the wheel, having to remake the wheel time and time again from scratch as though information didn't exist before, would that be an efficient way to run your wheel making business, or to produce this for the masses and for the population? I just want to see if I can get a few of you all to respond. So we're talking about the man who invented the wheel. If the man invented the wheel and he's like, tada, I have this amazing product, here's my wheel. If every time someone comes to him to get a new wheel, he goes through the journey of making the new wheels like if he never made it before, would that make sense? I see you all. No, it won't. Let's see. We have Kizzy is saying no, it wouldn't. Somebody else is saying no, it wouldn't. Then can I ask you all a question? Right? I'm saying I don't think so. Would be better to make improvements. Cool. We're all on the same page. So tell me something. Why in your business you behave like that? Why do we behave like that in our businesses? Well, Dana, what do you mean? I mean that every single time you get an order, there is no system or process or journey that you take your clients to, from the point of meeting you to the point of making your order. Every time somebody messages you to inquire about your services and your products, you have to go and retype an entirely new email, retype an entirely new WhatsApp message. You have to think about what you need to respond and say. Why is it that every time somebody orders a cake from you, you don't have a process by which, you're like, this is how I go through my manufacturing process for this product? That is, in a sense, like the man who invented the wheel, and every time he had to make the wheel, he was starting from scratch over and over and over and over again. I see you, Natasha, busted, right? Well, guess what happens? We tend to treat our businesses like that man who invented the wheel, but doesn't have a process, and every time he has to make a new wheel, we're starting from scratch. We don't have a system or a journey that we take our clients through. We don't have a system or a process by which we know how to manage our resources. Our messaging is faulty. And here's what people normally say to me: when I get big enough, then I will have automated responses, and then I will have this, and then I'll hire an assistant, and then I'll do the other and the next thing and the next thing. But if you don't start having proper systems and processes in your business now, it's not going to get better later. In fact, your ability to scale to later is going to be very limited. So when we're talking about building a profitable business, there is a lot of loss that we are encountering in our businesses because we do not have a system. So let's start from the very beginning. You post on your social media platforms. What is your system for when someone encounters you there and wants to inquire of your services? These are questions you need to ask yourself. What is the customer journey? Do you have a process for this? Do you know what you will say to them? Do you know what you say to them as by way of introduction? How many of you all know how to introduce yourself? Is it, hi, I'm Nicholas? Hi, I'm Natasha. What are we saying? Hi, I'm Dana. Do you know how to introduce yourself? Is there consistency in your communication when someone connects with you because they discovered you somewhere? First thing. The second thing is when someone shows interest in your order, what is the journey that you take them through? Let me give an example, guys. Recently, I purchased something from a local vendor in Trinidad and Tobago, and I saw something that I wanted. Here was the journey that I went through, guys. Here's the journey. I sent her a message. I said, how much for X product? She responded and said, the price varies. What I need you to do for me is I need you to go back to my Instagram page, screenshot which designs you are interested in, send it back to me in the DMs, and then I'll tell you how much it costs. Now, I had to really want this thing to go through all of that because otherwise, your money is lost. Who is going through all of this? But then I hear you all say, but that's why you need to have a website. Well, no, you actually don't need to have a website. If you are somebody who designs things, like you are creative, you're in the creative space and industry, what would it take for you to have a document, a Canva design, a PDF that shows all of your designs and the price ranges from it? Think about it. Wouldn't that be a more consistent experience than sending someone back to say, can you take a screenshot of what you're interested in and send it back to me in the DMs? Okay. So eventually, she had a little challenge. She was ill. So she messaged me and said she couldn't do it right away, but as soon as she is able to do it, she will let me know. Fine. She sends me back that she did it. Okay, so what is she asked me? What is the delivery option that I want? Well, my response to her is, what are the delivery options? What are the delivery options? There is nowhere that, again, in your messaging, you say, these are the delivery options. This is the cost of delivery for X, Y, and Z. So I imagine, now I still bought the item because I wanted it. I have no problem supporting local persons. I mean, and in all fairness to her, even though it's not an optimized experience, she was very pleasant. But I am thinking to myself, there is no way that you can scale this business with a process like this. Because guess what? There is no process. It is very ad hoc. There is no system, there is no routine. If I go back to her in 2 weeks, what would be my experience then? And this is where a lot of our businesses get caught up. This is where a lot of us get caught up in our businesses because we're so busy doing things in our business that we actually don't have a process that ensures that there's a quality control process in it. There's a quality control with regards to the customer experience, with regards to our standards of delivery, with regards to every single thing that we are doing. Now, I'm coming for those of you who are in creative spaces. I believe creatives are very exceptional at what they do, but sometimes you all struggle with systems and routines and the business side of running the business. So much so that if you are making something as a creative, I have worked with creative entrepreneurs, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, work in Grenada, St. Lucia, Jamaica, work with quite a few of you all. Here's what I have discovered. Sometimes creatives get, go running off with the creativity that at the end of the process, you have a beautiful product that made no financial sense. Ouch. I'm sorry, guys. I told you that I'm going to be very straightforward. That at the end of it, you beautiful, towers and rainbows and unicorns and $0. Because again, you as well have no quality control process for your creative part of your business. How much materials do you plan to use for a certain type of product? You can switch it up. You can be creative, great, but you have to have some sort of quality control. Because at the end of the day, you are not going to have anything to show for it financially. And guess what happens then? As I always say, you're vexed. In Trinidad, in Trinidad, in Trinidad vernacular. For those of you who are not from Trinidad or the Caribbean, you're really, really angry. Okay? I'm through. I see you the big stones. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you've gone and you've made this masterpiece and you have no money to show for it. So, concreteness systems is listen, I have 3 categories of cakes. For this category of cake, this is how much it comes up to. This is how much material I'm going to use. Particularly the cake part of it, that's standard. There's a recipe for that, I pray. But for the decorating part, like you have a standard for that, so you make sure that it makes financial. Oh Lord, Natasha, Lord, y'all, I need to show this. Natasha said I get carried away with the decorating. So a cake that's supposed to have $10 worth of decorations has 45. So basically you put all of your profits in your deco. So we have to be very mindful of that. That is what a system is. And I hear you all saying, but that's not what I love to do in my business. I love my creativity and stuff like that. I agree, but this is not a hobby, it's a business. You have to have a certain level of consistency, not just for yourself, but also for your customer. Because imagine the situation where I come to you, you tell me this is a $200 product, and then you give me the value of $500 in that product. And then one day you realize, oh my God, I'm making no money. I'm making a whole bunch of losses. So I need to make the $200 product a $200 product. And the same customer who paid $200 but got $500 worth comes back to you and you give them the $200 value. What do you think that they are going to say about your business and about your product? Huh, all of a sudden, you're not getting value for money anymore. Well, you know what? They always got more than they were paying for. And that presents a problem for you. That presents a problem for you. So, systems in your business. Systems in your business means have messages prepared so that when there's an inquiry into your business, you have your messages stored somewhere so that there is a consistency in your communication. Now, someone might ask the question, what about using a bot? Guys, don't just be using bots randomly. It really does create a negative experience where if there's a pause in the conversation and I come back to you and message you and you get a message, welcome to, DHB Vision Strategist. But I was just talking to you. Why am I getting an automated response? Okay, so have your messages prepared, have your emails prepared. Okay, that is actually going to save you time. That concreteness is not only going to create a consistent customer service experience, but it's also going to save you time. It's going to help you to reduce errors. Okay, are you all with me so far? Have a process for how you create your goods and services. It's always amazing to me when I'm talking to persons and I'm talking to clients or potential clients, particularly potential clients, because persons who come and work with me, I can help them fix the issues. But potential clients, and you listen to them and they say, I really want to get a supplier to mass produce and manufacture my product. And I don't always say, but I think in my mind, do you actually know what your process is? Is it documented anyway? Because how is somebody going to mass produce something that there is no recipe for, there's no process for? There is no directions as to how this thing is executed, then how are you going to get someone to recreate it? I was chatting with a friend of mine today, and we were doing a working accountability thing, and we were doing some of the admin work, because admin work is a significant part of your business, right? And she said to me, she said, it would be really great if that when you have an administrator, to get an administrator or VA to work with you to get some of these things done. And I said to her, it only works if you know what you want. You see, a lot of us go and get VAs, right? And I say, oh, the VA is no good. No, the VA is probably really good. You just don't know what you want. You have nothing for her to work with. So what, or him or her to work with. So what they end up having to do is they have to sit and wait for you to tell them what to do, wait for you to write something for them to post, wait for you to do X, Y, and Z, because you have no process or system. So sorry guys, the problem isn't the VA, the problem is that you have no system. When I have my administrator working with me, there is a sequence of emails. There is a process. I'm like, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. This is my onboarding process for my clients. These are the email templates. You just have to modify X, Y, and Z. So therefore, then it becomes easier for me. Then it becomes worthwhile for me because I have a system. So when I hear folks talk about, I want to mass produce, and I'm like, do you all have a process? Because if you produce jewelry, do you know which beads are for the lower end things and which beads are for the higher end things? That is part of your process. Coming again, systems. So we're talking about, it's more than a website, guys. These are the systems that really help you to optimize your business and your experience and have less wastage. How many of you are still writing physical receipts? Don't be scared or afraid to tell me. But there are several of you who are still writing physical receipts to put into packages to give persons. And I would just like to point out that in the year of the Lord 2022, there are several invoicing systems that are 100% free that you can utilize to issue quotations and invoices that will store all of the products and services that you actually use and deliver and offer to the masses. And you can use them to expedite how you send your invoices, that you can expedite how you send your quotations, and in one go, in a few clickety clicks, you can have this out. Yes, it's an amazing thing in the year of the Lord 2022. So I can't understand why so many of you, again, I told you all I'm probably going to be stepping on some toes, but I really believe that we need to be elevating ourselves. I'm trying to understand why in the year of the Lord 2022 y'all still doing that. In the pandemic, y'all still sending out these paper receipts written in your little receipt book. And you know what? This is what we know from our Caribbean context. It's not something that's probably going to apply elsewhere, but within our Caribbean context, this is what we know. But I'm saying that there are free invoicing systems. And let me explain the benefit of this to you. Here's what's happening with those manual invoices. How many of you all are, or manual receipts? How many of you all are reconciling your books? How many of you are reconciling those numbers in those receipt books? So you have receipt books And $100, $300, whatever it is, how many of you all are reconciling that? When you use a virtual or an online invoicing system, you are able to see right away how much you have made for a month, how much you have receipted, sent out as invoices for a month, how many receipts you've had for a month. So it actually helps you to have a better idea of, right, a better idea of what your actual earnings are in your business. We can't think about scaling if we don't know where we're at. So you're able to see where are my earnings actually located? How much money, because guys, I am that coach, right? I ask hard questions because I am very passionate about business. I'm very passionate about what I do. And I am not into just helping you to do the fad thing. My goal every time I coach a client, my goal is that you have a process that you can use that gives you information so you can make better strategic choices. So when you don't know, you have no idea how much you have made, it's because all of your receipts are in this book that you never go to check and add up. And let's not even talk about the fact that some of us are still commingling our money. So the money is going in the wallet with the money from elsewhere. So there's no proper record of what you actually have going on. That's a system. Those are the systems. So before you tell me about trying to build a website, these are the concrete systems that you need to have in your business so you know what's going on. I saw Kizzy said the stores keep getting bigger. And the bell said, "Oh, the poor Lord." Yes, but that is the way we say it in statutory things. When you read your contract in the year of the Lord 2022. So these are some of the things we should be doing. It's no longer a situation where these things are not accessible to us. They're very accessible to us. We just need to put the systems in place to have a better experience of running our business and a better experience of, actually having customers look at our business. Oh, it's Delise. Hey, Delise. Have our business do better. Let me give an example. I had a client. He is in the engineering field, and I helped him to kind of scale his business to the next level to optimize a lot of his things. And he was still creating invoices for on Microsoft Word. So then I asked the question, how do you reconcile the numbers? Like, how do you know how much you actually made? He's like, I don't. I just do it there, and eventually, I go and put it on an Excel spreadsheet. And then, that is a real convoluted process. I'm like, I need that time though. Like, we don't have that kind of time. So I helped him to set up his invoicing system is working perfection. All of his products, everything is there. All of his clients' information is there because he has recurrent clients. So it's easy. 2 clicks. Boom, boom, boom. Quote sent, invoice sent, easy peasy, account numbers on it, easy and easily done. So we can start doing these things a little bit differently, right? We can start fixing our systems. Now, this, let me be real, and the scope of running your business, this is the boring part. But you do the boring part so that you can do the parts that you love with freedom and more easily. You do these boring things of writing the emails in advance for when people are interested, of preparing your invoicing system and all of the other things, your messaging and all of that in advance, preparing your catalogs in advance so that you can actually enjoy the things that you love to do in your business. I believe that you should love your business. There are things that I totally love in my business. This is one of them, right? Speaking is a thing that I love to do in my business, teaching. But your girl still has to have these emails written. Like, when you all book your consultation calls with me, I need to have my email written to send you all. You think I write those emails from scratch every single time? Those of you who have done it with me? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I see you, Natasha. Yes, you need to go back to your planning table video because everything is right there. And even though we're joking and we're laughing and we're saying that I'm throwing really big stones, I'm not doing it to be malicious. I really want to stop. Sometimes we go on autopilot. We're just doing things, and we really just need to stop and do the necessary so that we can do what we really enjoy doing. And you have to, this is the way that you prepare for the next stage and the next level and the growth of your business. Do the boring stuff. Guys, I spent all of January preparing proposals. Proposals that went to companies. I've been preparing because I'm working on a series of masterminds and master classes to offer the community over the course of the year. I've been working on all of those things. You think it's easy to just be like, oh, let's sit and let's work on all of these things. It's not the most fun thing in the world, but I'm doing that part so that when it's launched and when we're doing our classes and stuff like that, then I'm going to have all the fun. But sometimes you need to stop and do what you need to do in order that you can do what you love to do. So, based on the things that I've said today, what are some of the things that you need? What are some of the things that you need to be doing right now to improve one system or a few of the systems in your business so that it's easy when you get those bookings and when you get those calls, and if an influx of calls and bookings come to you, you are ready. What is it that you need to do? So if you have any questions at this point, you can feel free to ask them. And as you're doing that, I'm going to share one thing. And it's a thought that is always at the back of my mind. A lot of us talk about, we would love to go viral, have a video go viral or have something that we put out go viral, like a positive thing, nothing, crazy. Something from our business to go viral so that we can get all of this interest. But if you truly get what you want to get, do you have systems in place to deal with a massive influx of interest and purchases in your business? That's a real question. It's something that I often ask myself, because I'm like putting on fabulous, fabulous content all of the time. And sometimes I'm like, why are people not responding to this? Like, do you all not see that I'm handing out all sorts of goals? But then I'm like, if everybody responds to this, do I have everything I need to have in place to deal with an influx? Because I can't one-on-one coach everyone. So I've been working on the other things that can serve needs, like my courses and my books and that sort of thing, to deal with an influx. So then I realized, girl, to be wishing, don't be out here on these streets wishing, to go viral just yet, because you're not yet ready to deal with that influx. And sometimes if you miss those opportunities, they're never going to come back. Or if you don't have things in place to maximize those opportunities, then what you're going to find will happen is that it does more damage to your business. So Kizzy says she needs to do everything she spoke of. Mr. Bell said definitely not. So guys, we have some homework to do. And if you are looking on LinkedIn, if you are looking on the YouTube replay, feel free to book a consultation call with me. I will be happy. I will be very happy to chat with you about where you are. I have a particular product that is perfect for these kinds of scenarios, especially if you are trying to optimize your system, and that's my planning table sessions. You saw Natasha talked about she needs to go back to that video so she could implement everything we talked about, because those sessions are really geared towards these kinds of situations where you need to optimize and you need to see exactly how to do it. And it's that kind of strategy session where I'll help you figure out how to optimize what you do and what systems you can start using. And most times it's systems that are free, guys, that can help. I can help you to figure out how you can use them to have a better experience. Because I believe that even though we're small businesses, we can have the experience, people can have the experience with us of a big business. And those experiences will really allow us to make those big business bucks. Cool. So that's it for tonight, guys. Did you enjoy tonight's session? I hope that you did. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back again next Monday at 8:30. And guess what we're dealing with, guys? Marketing. Ah, marketing is another big one, right? And I know we often struggle with that. So next week we're dealing with marketing. Um, and I look forward I really look forward to having that conversation with you. And I have a special announcement that next week, on the heels of marketing, there's a special little training that I'm going to be bringing for you absolutely free. So be sure to be here to catch it, guys. All right, I see you. Thank you so much, Natasha. Natasha has done a planning table session with me, and she says that everything is there. Get one, it's worth it. Yes, guys. Get one, it's worth it. I see a question here. I oftentimes can't get orders as quickly as I would like. What do you put in place to hire help? You mean like, so you're meaning that you can't complete your orders as quickly as you would like? I'm thinking that that's what it is. So again, if you want to hire help, right? If you would like to hire help, again, it's just understanding where in your process you need the help, right? So this is why I'm saying you need to know like what the process is. What is the process? What is the journey from the point of placing the order to the point of delivery? So you might actually need the help for a lot of the in-between things, and you can focus on the creativity, but you have to actually know what that process is. What is that process that you go through so that you can identify where exactly you need the help? Because sometimes where we think we need the help is not where we actually need the help. So therefore, I think sometimes like your help might not be actually in creating the orders. Maybe your help isn't doing all of the messaging, or maybe you need the help in, maybe you need a better system to perhaps procure materials. So you have to go through the actual step by step process or journey, so that only then you'll be able to identify exactly where you need the help. And that's kind of what we talk about. So it becomes clearer to you. So I wouldn't be able to say exactly where you need the help, but map out your journey. Like sit down and say, okay, Jane has ordered from me. From the point of order, what are the steps that I go through? And you'll then realize or recognize exactly where the struggle is, because the struggle might not be in the creativity, the struggle might be in some of the administration. If the struggle is in the creativity, then you might know I may need to hire somebody to work with me to prepare, so, and maybe not all of the time, maybe in the rush times. So that's why you need to know your process. Okay. All right, guys. Bye. See you next week. Have a good one.